Today I'm going to be demoing this Car Guys plastic restorer that I've recently purchased online. This is supposed to restore plastic, rubber, and vinyl back to life. Now it does have all the instructions that you need right here on the back. Relatively basic stuff, nothing too terribly crazy. You're just essentially going to shake it, mix it up. It does come with this applicator pad as well, but essentially you're just going to mix it, shake it up. It does tell you what is used on for best results. You want to prep the surfaces, so you got to make sure that they are clean before you use this. You're going to apply a small amount on the applicator, and then you're going to massage it onto the surface to create a thin and even layer. Then you're going to let it work for 10 to 30 minutes or more. You can let it sit overnight, and then after restoring, you're going to buff the surface with a clean towel and then let it air dry for 10 minutes. So I'm going to be testing this here on a couple of things. First of all, I'm going to be testing here on the plastic that is inside. As you can see, I did already clean this. You can see that it is clean, but it's still pretty faded. Now it's not going to fix like gouges and stuff, obviously, but we'll see what it does in regards to how they look. And then I also do want to test it as well on the outside pieces on my truck. So again, I've just recently washed the truck. I actually washed it yesterday. So I'm going to be testing it out like on a section here of this vinyl and seeing how it works. So let's go ahead and get some off. Now it is going to have like a little seal on here. I already did remove that. So you just have to remove the seal and then you are ready to put it onto the applicator pad. Now it says just a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of go with that. And then you're just going to supposedly massage it in. Now there's no easy way to hold the applicator pad, so that's a little bit annoying. But I'm just going to kind of like go like this. I'm assuming by massage in, they just mean kind of rub it in. It says you're trying to get like an even layer, right? So I'm just kind of going around a bit here with the applicator pad. And I'm just going to stop right about there just to kind of see what that looks like. Now I'm going to kind of come down on this side here. And I'm going to try and go right into there as well. So now I do believe I've got a pretty even coat onto there. Now it says you're going to leave it for 10 to 30 minutes. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it for a half hour. And then I'm going to come back once that half hour's passed and then wipe it off. And then we'll look at it in comparison to, say, this part right up here. So I don't know if you'll be able to see that very well or not. Maybe I should do a part here on this door. So like I'll go like here and then you can compare the before and after. So let me get some more. So I'm actually going to be doing it on top of this. This is clean, right? So I'm just going to be kind of doing it on top of that just to see if it covers it up. Then I'm going to come to about here on there. And then I'm going to see how that looks afterwards. I'm going to go ahead and do this top part here as well. I'm going to come all the way down here. I'm going to do underneath. And I'm just kind of making like an imaginary line right there. And we'll see if that's noticeable in regards to the difference on that. I especially am really interested in this spot right here that had that like white part on it right there to see if it gets that out. So again, I've already cleaned this. I've even used an interior cleaner and it didn't take that like whitish stuff out. So I'm interested to see what it does with that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that for half an hour. You can kind of see where it's dry and where it's wet. We'll leave it for a half hour and we'll see what it does. So I've let this sit for about 15 minutes. I was going to let it sit a little bit longer, but to be honest, it's so stinking hot out here. I didn't feel like it really needed to sit that long. Now I'm going to come back and just wipe any of this excess off. I don't believe I have any excess just because the way I used it, but I'm going to go ahead and wipe it. So I just want to kind of show you here what it looks like on this one as well. So I went ahead and wiped this off. Now you can probably see that line right there. It's not super noticeable, but you can see it. So this is going to provide like more like a matte shine on there versus a regular, like a super shiny. The feel though is really where it comes in different. So this feels like nice and smooth and clean. This one still feels kind of like where it's not hard, but like where it's kind of like gritty almost. And this is just a nice smooth shine across there. So although you can see it, it's not going to be a massive difference even on these faded plastics. Now where you've got here, where it had that like white in there, it obviously doesn't take the scratches and the gouges out, but it definitely looks a lot nicer there than it did before using this Car Guys plastic restorer.